Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into a topic that's pretty crucial for those UPSC exams and a hot button issue in general.
Yeah, it is.
The privatization of India's power distribution companies.
Yeah.
Those
Dis-
DISCOMs.
Discoms.
Yeah, exactly.
Good topic.
We're going to break down a recent article from Financial Express
Okay.
and really dig into the arguments for and against this whole privatization thing.
It's interesting, right? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Electricity is like a basic necessity,
Oh, golly.
but the way it's delivered
Right.
is tied up in all these huge economic,
God, right,
political questions.
Absolutely. And before we even get into like the whole privatization debate,
Okay.
let's just like paint a picture of where India's power sector stands today.
Yeah, good idea.
It's no secret that it's facing some big challenges.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
One of the biggest issues
Yeah.
is the high level of AT&C losses.
Okay, AT&C losses.
The EVE article mentions
Right.
that they're at 17.6%.
Now, for those of you studying for prelims,
Yeah.
that stands for aggregate, technical, and commercial losses.
Oh,
Basically, the electricity that's lost
Mhm.
during transmission, or that's just straight up not billed for them.
so we generate all this power,
Right.
but then like a big chunk of it just vanishes
Vanishes, poof.
before it even reaches people's home.
Exactly. It's a bunch of factors.
Right.
Outdated infrastructure.
Sure.
And frankly, power theft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this impacts the finances of DISCOMs big time.
Because they're spending money
Mm-hmm.
to produce the electricity, but not getting paid for all of it.
Precisely. And then there's the fact that the cost of supplying electricity
Yeah.
is often higher than the revenue generated from it.
Okay.
The article talks about a massive Rs. 79,000 crore deficit in FY23.
Okay, so that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
I can see why privatization is being considered, as a solution,
Yeah.
especially with those success stories we've seen.
Yes, the Delhi model is often used as an example.
Uh,
When private companies took over distribution there,
Yeah.
they cut those AT&C losses
Wow.
drastically,
Yeah.
saved the government a ton of money.
It wasn't just luck, though.
Right.
There were like specific things they did to get those results.
Absolutely. One key thing was bringing in professional management.
Okay.
Private companies brought in experts, streamlined operations,
All right.
focused on efficiency,
Mhm.
and they invested in tech upgrades.
Yeah.
Like smart meters,
Oh, okay.
which helped reduce power theft
Smart.
and improve billing accuracy.
That's a good point.
Hmm.
For those aiming for the mains exam,
Yes.
often those questions dive into the how of
Yeah.
policy implementation.
Mhm.
And Delhi's success shows that it's not just about shifting ownership.
Exactly.
It's about creating the right environment
Yes,
for change to happen.
absolutely. The regulatory framework was important too.
Okay.
In Delhi, there was a clear system for setting tariffs
Mm-hmm.
and ensuring accountability. That gave private companies the confidence to invest
Makes sense.
and operate efficiently.
Okay, so it sounds like a few things
Yeah,
contributed to Delhi's success:
right.
professional management, tech upgrades,
Mm-hmm.
and a supportive regulatory environment.
Yes,
But the question is, why haven't government schemes like UD
right.
been able to do this nationwide?
That's a good question.
It comes up a lot, especially in those UPSC exams.
It does.
Why hasn't it worked everywhere?
Yeah. It's a good question. It's worth looking into.
Yeah.
UDay.
Okay.
Or the usual DISCOM assurance Yojana
Mm-hmm.
was a big initiative back in 2015.
Okay.
The goal was to tackle those financial problems
Right.
that DISCOMs were facing
Mm-hmm.
by restructuring their debt and improving operational efficiency.
So it's trying to make things more stable
Exactly.
for the power sector.
Yeah, create
Yeah.
a better foundation.
Okay.
It did have some success, reducing the debt burden on
Ah.
DISCOMs,
Mm-hmm.
but the impact on their actual operations has been kind of mixed.
Interesting.
One key difference between UDay
Yeah.
and that Delhi model
Mm-hmm.
is the level of autonomy
Okay.
given to the private companies.
So even though the government was trying to make things better,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they weren't giving DISCOMs enough freedom
Yeah,
to actually operate well.
that's one way to look at it.
Okay.
In Delhi, those private companies had more flexibility to make
Mhm.
decisions, about investments,
Right.
staffing,
Mm-hmm.
even setting tariffs within that regulatory framework.
Okay.
So they could tailor their strategies
Makes
and
total-
what the market actually needed.
Okay.
But under UD,
Mm-hmm.
DISCOMs were still mostly controlled by the state,
Right.
which might have limited their ability
Right.
to make big changes.
This is important for those UPSC folks.
Oh, yeah.
Because it shows that whole debate about the role of the state
Mm-hmm.
in economic reforms.
Exactly.
It's not just private versus public.
Right.
It's about finding the right balance
Yeah.
between control and autonomy.
Absolutely. And that leads us to another important point,
Okay.
the social and political side of privatization.
Okay, interesting.
One big criticism
Yeah.
is the potential impact on electricity tariffs.
Right, because private companies are driven by profit.
Exactly.
They might want to hike up those prices,
Mm-hmm.
and then electricity becomes unaffordable,
Yeah, especially for the poor.
especially for the poor.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a major concern.
it is.
And it comes up in those UPSC mains questions a lot.
It
I've
does.
seen it.
And Odisha, back in the 90s,
Right.
becomes a cautionary tale here.
Okay.
They tried privatizing DISCOMs,
Mm-hmm.
and they faced huge resistance from employees
Oh, wow.
who were worried about losing their jobs.
Right.
There were problems with tariff hikes, too,
Okay.
and concerns about those private companies
Mm-hmm.
putting profits over service quality.
So it wasn't just a theoretical problem.
No.
It actually happened.
It happened,
Wow.
and it shows us that privatization isn't some magic solution. It needs to be done carefully, with safeguards to protect consumers and employees.
Right.
The Delhi model, for example. They had a big transitional support fund
Okay.
to soften the impact of privatization.
So it's not just about handing over control.
Right.
It's about providing support and making that transition smooth.
Exactly. And that brings us to regulation.
Okay.
You need strong and independent regulators
So?
to make sure private companies play fair,
Right.
maintain good service, and don't abuse their power.
Because they could
Oh, yeah.
take advantage.
It could.
The FEI article talks about this too.
It does.
It's not enough to just bring in the private sector.
Right.
You need a system to hold them accountable.
Absolutely. Regulation balances the efficiency of the private sector with protecting the public interest.
Okay.
And this applies to lots of economic policies.
Right?
Something to keep in mind for those UPSC exams.
Definitely. So it seems like there's no easy answer. When it comes to privatization,
It's complicated.
it could make things more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
improve service,
Yeah,
but there are risks,
definitely.
and you got to manage them carefully.
You do.
That's a good summary.
It is.
And this is what makes it such a fascinating topic
It is.
for UPSC prep,
For sure.
because it's not straightforward.
Nope.
Speaking of which, the government has launched a bunch of initiatives
They have.
over the years to deal with these power sector problems.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about UDA.
Yeah.
But there's also the Revamped Distribution Sector Scheme,
Okay.
RDSS,
Yeah.
RDSS,
Mhm.
the Integrated Power Development Scheme,
MPDS.
IPDS, all these things.
Yeah, lots of acronyms.
What are they trying to do?
So they all target different parts of the power sector, but the common thread is modernizing infrastructure,
Okay.
improving efficiency, and reducing those losses.
Right.
For example, RDSS
Yeah.
focuses on smart metering and grid modernization.
So it's not just about fixing what's broken.
Right.
It's about bringing the power sector into like the modern age.
Exactly. Modernization is key.
Okay.
IPCS, on the other hand, focuses on urban power distribution,
Okay.
making it more reliable and efficient.
So are these initiatives like trying to fix
In a way.
the root causes
Mm-hmm.
that make privatization seem like the only option?
I think so. They're trying to level the playing field
Okay.
so that both public and private companies can operate effectively.
Interesting.
And that leads us to another initiative,
Okay, what's that?
the integrated rating of DISCOMs.
Okay, so that's like a
It's like a report card.
report card
Yeah.
for those power distribution companies.
Exactly. It evaluates them on
Okay.
things like financial health, operational efficiency,
Right.
consumer satisfaction.
So we can see who's doing well.
Exactly. It helps identify best practices,
Okay.
areas for improvement, and it promotes transparency and accountability. So it's like a benchmarking tool.
Yeah, like you said, a report card.
Okay.
So policymakers and regulators can see which DISCOMs are doing well
Right.
and which ones need to improve.
Okay.
And this is important for UPSC folks
Yeah.
because it shows the importance of using data to make policy decisions.
Right. So it's not just about like gut feeling. It's about using actual data.
Data-driven decisions.
Yeah. Okay.
And that applies to all sorts of governance,
Not just power.
not just power, no.
Okay. So we've covered a lot.
We have.
We've talked about the problems
Mm-hmm.
facing India's power sector,
Yes.
the arguments for and against privatization,
Right.
the lessons from Delhi and Odisha.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
The successes and the failures.
And all the government's initiatives.
All those programs.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
That's the question, isn't it?
What's the path forward?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
What's clear is that India's power sector is at a crossroads.
Privatization is one option.
Right.
But it needs to be done carefully. You have to protect consumers, ensure a smooth transition, and create a strong regulatory system.
It's not just about handing it over to the private sector.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's about setting them up for success.
Okay.
Whether that's through privatization or strengthening the public sector DISCOMs.
Okay.
And that means understanding the challenges,
Right.
the trade-offs, and the potential solutions.
And that's where this deep dive helps our UPSC folks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Understanding all this is key
It is.
to answering those tough mains questions.
Those complex questions.
Yeah, the ones that aren't just yes or no.
Exactly.
It's about going deeper,
Exactly.
thinking critically.
Right.
And that's what'll help you in those exams.
And beyond.
And in life, too.
Yeah, for sure.
This isn't just about memorizing facts. It's about really understanding
Right.
the issues.
Now, beyond the exams.
Yeah.
This isn't just about numbers and policies. It's about people.
Yeah.
Millions of Indians
Right.
rely on affordable and reliable electricity.
It's a basic need.
It is for their homes, businesses,
Right.
their lives.
It powers schools.
Exactly. Schools,
Yeah.
hospitals,
Right.
industries.
It drives the economic growth.
Exactly. And improves quality of life.
So finding the right way forward is crucial.
It is.
It doesn't matter if it's privatization
Right.
or strengthening public sector DISCOMs or a mix of both.
Yeah.
The goal is to make sure India's power sector can actually meet people's needs.
That's the bottom line.
So here's a thought.
Okay.
India's power sector is at a crossroads.
Like we said.
There are challenges, but there are also huge opportunities.
There are?
Will privatization be that spark it needs? Or will it lead to like a power struggle?
Interesting question.
There's no easy answer.
No easy answers here.
And that's what makes it so interesting to study.
It keeps things exciting.
Whether you're a UPSC aspirant or just someone who wants to learn more.
Curious minds.
Exactly.
It's a fascinating field.
Big thanks to Financial Express
Yes!
for their article.
That insightful article.
Yeah, it was a basis for our deep dive today.
The foundation of our discussion.
We'll link to it in the show notes.
Definitely check it out.
For those who want to go deeper.
Yeah, a must read.
If you want to understand this whole thing.
All the complexities.
Yeah, and to everyone listening. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
On this electrifying journey.
I see what you did there.
If you found this deep dive helpful, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
And share it with your fellow UPSC warriors.
Just spread the knowledge.
And don't forget to leave us a like.
Those likes help.
Until next time, stay charged up.
Stay charged up.
And keep those brains buzzing.
Buzz, buzz.
Okay, so we're back.
Back again.
Ready to wrap up.
Wrap it up.
Our deep dive into this power sector in India.
Lot to think about.
We've covered so much.
We have.
From those AT&C losses to the whole debate around privatization.
Big debate.
And for all our UPSC folks out there,
yes,
this discussion is like a gold mine.
It is.
Full of insights.
So many insights.
For your exam prep.
Important stuff.
We're talking economic reforms, infrastructure development, the role of the state.
Big one.
And those challenges
of
policy implementation.
It all comes up.
All those themes pop up in prelims and mains.
They do.
All the time.
All the time.
So let's try to sum up some key takeaways here.
Good idea.
First,
the
state of India's power sector. It's complicated. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
We have those high AT&C losses.
Right.
DISCOMs are struggling financially, and it's hard to meet the demand.
Soaring demand.
For electricity.
Yeah. India needs power.
And that's what. Everyone's looking for solutions.
Exactly.
Privatization being one of them.
One of the big ones.
Right.
The Delhi model shows us it can work.
It can.
But Odisha
Right.
reminds us it's not a guarantee.
No guarantees.
Not a magic bullet.
And that's where those in-depth mains answers come in.
Yes.
You got to analyze those nuances.
The details.
Yeah, what made it work in Delhi.
Right.
And what made it fail in Odisha.
Those are the key points?
Right.
What were the conditions?
Exactly.
What was different?
Yeah. And don't forget the government.
Of course.
They have a big role in all of this.
Huge role.
We talked about UDA, RDSS, IPS, and that integrated rating of DISCOMs.
The report card.
Yeah, the report card.
Right.
They're all trying to address the problems,
They're trying.
but are they working?
That's the question.
That's up for debate.
Still being debated.
This is crucial for understanding
It is.
how policies actually work in the real world.
Do they have an impact?
Do they actually make a difference?
Right.
That's what those UPSC examiners want to know,
To see if you get it.
if you can connect the dots.
Exactly.
But beyond the exams,
Okay.
let's step back for a second.
Take a wider view.
This isn't just about numbers
No.
and policies.
It's about people.
It's about people.
Yeah, real people.
Millions of Indians
Millions.
rely on electricity.
They need it.
They need it to be affordable. They need it to be reliable
Absolutely.
for their homes,
Yeah. Their homes.
for their businesses,
Their businesses.
for their lives.
Essential.
It powers schools, hospitals, industries.
Everything.
It drives the economy.
It does.
Improves people's quality of life.
Very important.
So finding the right solution is so important.
It is.
It doesn't matter if it's privatization
Right.
or strengthening those public sector DISCOMs, or a mix of both.
Whatever works.
The goal is to make sure
The goal is
India's power sector can actually meet people's needs.
that's what matters.
That's the bottom line.
The bottom line.
So here's the thought.
Okay.
I want to leave you with India's power sector.
Yeah.
It's at a crossroads.
We've said it before.
We have.
We'll say it again.
There are challenges, but there are also huge opportunities.
Huge.
Will privatization be the spark?
The spark it needs.
Yeah. Or will it be a power struggle?
Ooh, good one.
We don't know.
No easy answers.
There's no easy answer.
Yeah,
And that's what makes this such a fascinating area to study.
it does.
Whether you're preparing for UPSC
Yeah.
or you're just curious.
Who is interested?
Yeah.
It's dynamic. It's changing.
Big thanks to Financial Express
Yes.
for their article.
Great article.
It's the basis of our deep dive today.
Our starting point.
We'll link to it
In the show notes.
in the show notes, so check it out.
Go deeper.
If you want to learn more,
Explore further.
and to all our listeners,
Yes.
thanks for joining us
Thanks for being here.
on this electrifying journey.
Always a pleasure.
If you found this deep dive helpful,
Mm-hmm.
hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe.
Share it with your friends,
Tell your friends.
your fellow UPSC warriors,
Spread the word.
and leave us a like.
Yeah, those likes help.
Until next time, stay charged up
Stay charged.
and keep those brains buzzing.
Keep learning, everyone.